Dum-dum, Tweedle-dum-dum, Tweedle-dum-dum, Tweedle-dum-dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered.
He did what we all must learn to do. You
And you,
and you and you.
Hello, South Africa, and welcome to episode 7 of Duck and COVID. I'm one of your hosts, Grant Towers, and we have Matt Lewis and Douglas White. And we're sending also a good hello to our special guests today, all the way from New Zealand, Scotty and Mel. Hello, guys.
Hey, Jim, how we go?
Good. And just before we get into things, I first want to extend congratulations on your 27-year anniversary. Hey, well done for putting up with each other for 27 years.
How did you do it?
Big up.
Down 10. Ouch. So it's been a long haul. It's been a great day. It's been a good day. It's all about being friends.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see how you do in
thing,
lockdown.
We'll be fine. Yeah. Well, we've done it for this long. This is nothing. Walk in the park.
Awesome. Okay, well, before we get started with you guys, just want to give over to Doug. How's our news looking for today?
Okay, well, I mean, we've for those of you that don't know, because New Zealand is so far ahead of us in South Africa, we're kind of starting the episode recording a bit earlier, so there's not much in the way of new news. I have got the current figures as they stand with an extra 2,300 cases, bringing the total number of cases to 860,696. So it's 54,000 more than we recorded yesterday, but I mean, it's still 860,000. And South Africa is currently sitting at 1,353 with 102 new cases in the last 24 hours. And unfortunately, 2 new deaths, bringing our total up to 5 deaths for this pandemic. And then because we've got 2 guests from New Zealand here, I thought that I would say 708 is the current number in New Zealand. They've been locked down slightly longer than we have. So, I mean, their government really on the ball with 61 new cases in the last 24 hours and a total of 1 death in New Zealand. In terms of the news, there really isn't much other than a pastor in the United States been arrested for disobeying the rules and holding a mass service. I don't know what he was thinking. And that they decided to move Easter. Well, I'm not a religious scholar, but I thought that Easter was a pretty set time of year, but apparently they're moving it to May, or they're thinking about it. So we'll just have to see what happens there. And that's it for the news.
All right. Well, I mean, people have the option to celebrate Easter from home. I mean, maybe the priest can bless the water or the wine online or something. I don't know. I guess
it's possible, but if you can't have the people in the church on Easter Day, I mean, let's be fair. How are you going to fill the collection bowl?
What I was thinking.
No, I joke, I kid. I'm not opposed, but I just think that that they should be trying to reach their flock as we are doing technologically, and just kind of keep things as normal as possible for everybody.
It's sweet that you think we have a flock as large as the church, but I don't think we're there yet.
we're like a church in a dusty little town. We don't have many followers, but the followers that we have come every week. In their tens.
Right.
But yeah, okay, so giving over to Scotty and Mel. You guys have been on lockdown for just a little bit longer than we have. But
it's official lockdown is in 3 hours. It'll be 1 week.
okay.
Midnight last Wednesday. Yeah,
Okay.
midnight last Wednesday. We went into it, and it's Wednesday now. So yeah, in 3 hours.
Okay, so you started literally a day before us.
Yeah.
So And how's your lockdown been? How's the response been to the virus? Like when you first started hearing about it, and also how's things going with your business? For the people who watch, Matt and I have met Scotty and Mel before when we were down in New Zealand for productions that toured there, and they run a friendly gay bar, which is it's sort of like a mom and pop's malt shop, except it's pop and pop's gay bar. Everyone is welcome, and it is such a relaxed vibe. And when you're in New Zealand and you go to Wellington, like it is the place to hang out at. I've had some of my best nights on my tour at that bar.
Are you going to drop the name as well, just in case?
Yeah. The bar's called
Nice.
S&M's after Scotty and Mel. So if you're down, if you're down in New Zealand and you're going to Wellington, I'd recommend doing a turn at S&M's. They've been around for years. They basically host all the musicals that come there. They invite them for opening night parties and tell them they can come have a jaw there. And it's a beautiful community.
It's all about meeting new people. But back to the original question was like when we went into lockdown, the only places that are really open are supermarkets and pharmacies. Every bit of hospitality in Wellington is totally closed for 100%. There's only a few dairies open. The streets are deserted. It actually started off when they started, because we knew weeks ago that we were going to close. And we started doing everything we could, your hand sanitizer coming, doing everything in place. We always are anyway, we're spotless, but it was just making sure that people can still feel comfortable and welcome. But the people coming in just dropped phenomenally. And then it hit, all over town. It hit that time that's everyone's got to close. But the government really did come to the party in that business hours.
Sorry, would you mind leaning forward? But we're just losing you on the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the good thing with our government is they small business like ours. But we've been looked after in such a way that we can actually look after all our staff, so they don't
that's awesome.
lose their jobs. So they're all still getting their weekly wage paid for by the government.
That's amazing.
And we think we can last $9 million into the $1 billion into the workforce, that everybody can retain their jobs and get 80% of their weekly wage. They gave each business enough money to last for the next 12 weeks.
Wow.
Fantastic. That is great news.
Yeah.
We've really had stories here where there was one particular restaurant that informed their staff on at closing time Wednesday, the day before the lockdown, that they would be closing at 2 o'clock on Thursday, and that after that everybody was dismissed. And after the lockdown, they were welcome to ask for their jobs back.
There's been a lot of dismissals.
There has been here as well. There's not everyone's playing by the book, following the rules. But we as one, our staff know that the jobs are still there. Always, and they'll keep getting paid until this finishes. I think we hope
you can renew that the loan from the government as well. So they've given each business basically enough money to go right through the next 12 weeks to give them 80%. That means they can retain for 12 weeks. Nobody's losing their jobs. When it first hit before we went into lockdown, when all the bars were still open and the restaurants, they limited it to a maximum of 100 people per venue, and then we had to introduce a register. Everybody that was coming into the bar had to sign the register, their name, telephone number, and their email address, so that if anything broke out, they could track it. They could
do the trace.
Those people had all been, So they've been right onto it. Jacinda Ardern has been absolutely outstanding for a young Prime Minister. Outstanding.
The big thing we had on our side was things like that, where there was tracking. So someone was in there, but people they had a folder that they were keeping for 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah, 4 weeks. You have to keep
we never got to 4 weeks. We never got to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But then everything was locked down. Yeah. But they could track everything.
So it was very, very,
Very clever idea.
Well, I do know that when we officially announced official distancing in this country, we tried to do the same thing where you were required to sign a register going into a restaurant or a bar or things like that, limiting to 100 people. But in order to be able to do that, you need to be able to enforce something like that. Now, I think most people probably did follow those rules, but trying to enforce something like that would be difficult.
But we've got a thing going on here in the country where the government has made an agreement with the acronym is ICASA, but it's the people that monitor cell phone networks, and they're using a program to use benign cell phone data to be able to trace people's contacts. So you take the one person who's got COVID, and you see where their cell phone has been in proximity to other people. That's how they trace them. And also, I just want to add, because the paying up to 80% is interesting. By us, I got this information from my mother. She's a business editor, so she has to be up to date with all the stats and the law changes in this time. And what we have is we have a sliding scale of 38% to 60%, depending on what your average monthly income is. And it's capped at 17,712 Rand, which I think is divided by 10 for New Zealand dollars. So that would be 1,700 New Zealand, basically. And that's the maximum you can get. It depends on if you earn the higher income, then the percentage slides downwards. If you're in the lower income, so it's sort of like a equalizing effect.
Well, it works in a lot of the other industries, but like with the hospitality, the bars, restaurants and such. I mean, the minimum is 80%, but we're paying all our staff 100%.
Because if you can do it,
money.
We paid them all out their holiday pay as well, because they're going to need that. A lot of these students, and
it's coming into winter, and we think we're going to be inside for a long time. Coming into winter, they're going to need heating. They're going to need their power bills are going to go up. That kind of thing.
What have they been doing for the homeless by you guys? We've had some shelters starting to pop up, but what's happening?
Yeah, the same thing's happening over here. There are shelters popping up. They've started up a new charity over here, which is it's basically donate a food parcel. Not what the name they're calling it, but they've had over $100,000 donated just yesterday alone from different people around New Zealand. And what it all does is it goes to the supermarket chain, and they make up they in the family, and they make up packs to the value enough to last food for 3 days. And they just have drivers taking them out and dropping them off at the houses for people who can't get out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got those home delivery guys here as well. Obviously, you have to pay for it yourself, but we don't have. I'm not sure. We've got some charities, but not sure how. Well, we've got delivery people, and then there's a company called Bottles that used to before the lockdown deliver alcohol to your house. But of course, we can't sell alcohol or cigarettes at the moment, so they've joined up with Pick and Pay, and their drivers are delivering food parcels and to keep people.
Fantastic! It's really good. It's amazing how the other things we have changed. Sorry, no, this is changing. Is the 2 meter when you're apart. Go to the supermarket. One person from one household in the supermarket at a time. One out, one in. You've got to be 2 apart. But no, just out in front of our house branch, we've been there and we stand out in front there and watching the world go by. There's a lot of people out walking, but it's amazing how much more friendly.
Oh, we've lost audio.
I'm still getting
just
audio.
Repeat that again. Sorry.
Just go like that.
It's amazing how, like, under all this pressure, people that are out walking, everybody in the streets talking, standing meters apart,
across the road,
but they're communicating with each other. People walk past saying hello. The streets suddenly become more friendlier. Not that they've ever been able to, but it's a lot more intense.
The problem is, though, there is still too many people out walking and things. You're meant to go out for essential reasons. we've been in lockdown for 7 days
days.
now, and we've been out for 2 walks, and once we had to go to work, but we did that as a drive to work, pick up some groceries and home. Our 2 walks out have been around and checking on friends that live in apartments. Just like yelling at their balcony, "Oi,
text them,
hey,
look down
text
the balcony,
and having a chat." You know, and we had about there was about 6 or 7 of them we walked past the other day and just went around, spoke to them all, making sure they're okay, having a chat, having a bit of a laugh, and then carrying on home.
Because there's still the ones out there, as like Scotty was we were talking about earlier. Yeah, a lot of people that don't have the internet. You know, they've got no way of communicating.
Relying on TV.
Yeah.
And if your TV is anything like us, TV, it's shit.
Well, we at least have Netflix and fiber, so well,
you need internet for that.
A certain percentage, but I want to backtrack a little bit about the charities. One of the guys that was on with us, it was our very first broadcast. We had our buddy James McGregor on. And he's been messaging me about some charities in South Africa that I just want to mention as well. Well, we've spoken, so it's all in the same broadcast. If our watchers or listeners want to maybe you have some spare cash and you want to donate for a good cause, you can go to feedsa.co.za. So that's feed SA as in feed South Africa.co.za. They're doing a good thing. It's about 480 Rand, and you can send care packages to people around you. And then there's also yebofresh.co.za. Yebo is in Zulu for yes. And they're also doing community outreach, especially to our informal settlements in high population places. So you can buy specials there, and they deliver to communities in need. Okay, my plug is over.
Got to get them in the
plug. It's a good time for a plug because we look like we're about to run out of time. So I just wanted to ask you guys, because I've been asking everybody, just to try and get everybody's idea of what book they think people should be reading while they're stuck in lockdown.
I know what you're going to say.
Me by Elton John.
Me by Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John, me. It's fantastic. Funny,
it's an autobiography, I guess.
Yes, it is. And it actually feel like he's talking to you. You know? It's fantastic. Yeah. He's done it very, very well. It's a great book. Good reading.
Okay, does it have any comparison to the film Rocket Man that came out?
That's mentioned in it. It is mentioned in the book. There's lots of really funny instances in the book. He was very, very proud of Rocket Man. And I think it's his crown, to be quite, apart from that.
And you?
Sorry? And me?
Sorry, I was... Yes, your book.
It's really hard because I haven't read a book in years because of work. I've always been so tied up with work. So I might have to go back to the last series of books I read when I was a teenager, which was the Narnia series.
Cool.
And there's 7 of them in the series, and it doesn't start with a lion, a witch, and the wardrobe. For God's sake, get it right.
These are important things, damn it.
That's book 3.
Yeah. That's the one that just started. It's the only movie they haven't made.
So I thought that was book 2 because I know it's The Magician's Nephew, and then I thought Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was book 2.
No, The Magician's Nephew, then The Horseman's Boy, then The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
And the capybara's cousin.
And then you can go to more sci-fi absolutely.
Yeah.
There was some really wild stuff.
Okay.
I think it was on time.
Well, we appreciate those recommendations. But thank you, Scotty.
Good read.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's it from us for today, guys. Keep well, keep safe, wash your hands.
Good to see you again. Every day. Spotless, baby.
Yeah.
Spotless.
And we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later, guys. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and cover, ducked and cover.
He did what we all must learn to do. You
And you,
and you
and you, duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing.